What is up, people? Hello and welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the Cup Chasers. And of course, a Merry Christmas for the festive fixtures. The Arsenal have defeated Everton 1-0 at the Hill Dickinson Stadium for the very first time. Arsenal has been there, and it was a tight one. It was a tough one. Definitely had to work for it. Definitely a much improved performance, however, from the Arsenal, as Victor Gyokeres has sunk the penalty to take Arsenal back to the top of the Premier League. I'm happy with the performance. I'm happy with the 3 points. But of course, welcome back to the channel. And let's go ahead and hit the like button. Subscribe if you are new. Thanks for being here. Hype it up if you got some of those points left. And I want to know what we're thinking down in the comments section below. All right. First things first. When I saw the lineup, I was excited. I thought to myself, that's probably the strongest lineup we got. And maybe you could put Eze in for Trossard to make it a little bit stronger if you want to say that. That is a possibility. But all in all, minus Gabriel, I thought that's probably one of our best lineups going forward. And, for this game. And I thought that we definitely started out. My very first note was the first 10 minutes. We gave them way too much of the ball, but you got to give credit to to Everton. They were the home team. They decided to come out and play strong and have some energy in the beginning. I thought they would sit back a whole lot more, to be honest with you. And I was a little bit, pleasantly surprised, I'd say that they didn't sit back as hard, as much as I thought they would. But I thought that we weathered that storm well in the beginning, kind of matched them with the energy. They were there with the physicality in the beginning, but I thought we definitely matched it well. Like I say, I thought we were a bit too willing to let them have the ball in the beginning, but we weathered the storm, and I understood it. And about the 15th minute, we started winning more of the second balls. We did concede some of the second balls in the middle in the beginning of the game, but I thought we started to win a couple of second balls and get a bit more on top. But there was a moment about the 15th minute that Martin Zubamendi he's kicked the dude. And then he's put it out for a throw in, and he's been frustrated. He's kind of lost his head a little bit. And I gotta say, it wasn't his best performance on the day. If we're going to be honest, he was bullied maybe a little bit in there. His passing wasn't as crisp as it normally is. Put a couple of them out of bounds. He wasn't horrible, but he wasn't at his superb, excellent best. I thought in that beginning we weren't winning second balls at all, and that's why we were kind of up against it a little bit. But you could already see in the beginning that we were trying to play a little bit quicker in the transitions. Both Trossard and Saka in our first forays forward were looking for Gyokeres before Everton had gotten their defense set, and that was something that I called for in the preview, and of course on the Fire Them Cannons podcast. Go check that out. We did an episode this morning where I featured as a special guest, so go subscribe to them. Big up Anton and Cal for being on that one, as they say over there. And I thought that we were rotating a lot more up top. Saka and Odegaard were both popping up on the left numerous times. Not something you see, but I definitely think that Arteta and the gang had something more going forward in their mind, as opposed to simple get it to Saka and pray strategy. We were far more balanced, I would say, as far as going down the left and then going down the right, trying to get down the center as well. I thought we did overall a very good job of trying to play before, like I say, Everton had their back set up. And once we got the goal, of course, they were coming out a bit more and a bit more and a bit more. But it was very interesting how we rotated. And I thought that Victor was a part of that rotation, Victor Gyokeres. I thought he played well overall. I think that he was definitely a little bit struggling to get into the game a little bit before the penalty. I thought that before the handball, before O'Brien decides that he wants to pull a Virgil van Disney and play some basketball in the middle of the game, the one right before where Gyokeres was pushed in the back, maybe it would have been soft, but I think that's a pin, man, because if he doesn't feel a touch in the back, he taps it in. Like, what? I mean, maybe I'm seeing it at weird angles, and maybe he's dove like that to try to head the ball, and he's just missed. Maybe. I don't know. I felt justified that we got that pin after not getting the call for Gyokeres. And fair play to Martin Odegaard, standing there with the ball and holding on to it. Definitely what the captain should do. I know that Saka is normally the penalty kick taker, but Victor Gyokeres' penalty record is absolutely incredible. So I'm very happy that he got the pin. Is it shades of Kai Havertz? No, I don't think so. I think that Gyokeres is actually very good at penalties. If you'll notice, yes, Kai's first goal was a gimme, kind of a pity penalty back then. But the difference is that Gyokeres will hit penalties for us again. Kai, not so much. So that's the big difference there. And yeah, he just smashed it through Pickford. And I know that's his style, so I figured that's what was coming. But it's still a great pin from Gyokeres. And I thought that we upped the intensity and the quality a little bit after the penalty. It was definitely far more controlled in the possession. I thought that many times we played through their press very well. You could see the way that we were setting up the triangle where you would have Saliba out on the right, Hincapié was wide to the left with Raya in the middle, and Zubi would come close and receive the pass from Raya and then pass it back to him to get the forward to commit to Raya. And then it was a simple pass to Saliba, one touch to Zubi, and he's free in the middle. And we beat their press like 5, 6, like a number of times in both the first and the second half with the way Zubi was coming across the back line to give Raya that option. And I thought because they pressed with one guy up top and were more worried about our wingers, we were able to play through them really, really well because Zubi was just getting into the pocket behind Barry would be the farthest man forward, and then Beto when he came on later on. I thought Declan Rice was fantastic in that first half. Once again, he's worked his socks off, and he's been the absolute engine in there, winning a ton of second balls in that second part of the first half, I should say. Was working really hard in there. He did have a couple of loose touches in that first 15 where we weren't winning the second balls as much. And like I've always said, I think that when we do concede the second balls in the midfield, those are the only times where we really look vulnerable. When teams are able to win the ball, attack, we get a clearance, they win the ball again, attack, and they kind of pin us back a little bit. Everton did that maybe once or twice in the game. It's the way we let Wolves do it at the end of that game that really, really annoys me. Because like I say, that's the only time when we're actually really vulnerable. Now, I will say that we weren't as ruthless as I'd like us to be. We were not as clinical as I would like us to be. Sure, we did hit the bar a couple of times, but the best thing to take away from those particular movements is that maybe 4 or 5 times we put together a real sweeping counter attack with quick passing back to front And we need to see way more of that. And I loved it. There were a number of moves that it was fantastic football. It was quick passing. It was incisive. It was good movement to open space, but just didn't have as much quality as I think we didn't show as much quality as I definitely think we have, So I have my note here right before halftime. Odegaard with an absolutely horrendous pass for Victor Gyokeres, who, let's be honest, he could have had a hat trick today if we were a little bit sharper in the final third. If Odegaard gets that pass right, he's just sliding that home for sure. Victor is. I thought it was a decent half. We were definitely playing quicker. I thought Gyokeres definitely had an improved performance in that first half. We still need him to be a little bit quicker as far as getting on the very end of things. I thought that his battle with Keane and Tarkowski was definitely a tough one. I thought he battled with them well. And let's be honest, you got to give Everton credit. I thought Everton defended really, really well today. A couple of last-ditch tackles on Gyokeres for him to not get the shot off. I thought that they battled with him well. They were winning headers and aerial duels. They were definitely battling for the second balls. You got to give credit to Everton. They defended really, really well today. I was certainly impressed with how they defended. But even still, we should have won this game at least 3-0. Yep, next note. Like I said, I did note on the rotation again at halftime, the way Odegaard would pop up on the left, the way Saka would pop up on the left. I think that it's refreshing. It's very refreshing to see this because we normally stagnate down the right-hand side with Odegaard seemingly having no ideas whatsoever. But the way it opened space when we overloaded the left and got the ball to Saka very quickly and were able to go left to right, and then he was able to beat his man and go right back across. The space is there when you move the ball that much quicker, and that was very, very good to see a number of different times. Now, if we look at the Saliba penalty shout, I gotta say, I think we were a little lucky. I think we're a little lucky there. We've seen that given. Honestly, if that's in midfield, it's a foul. It probably gets a yellow card. Yeah, I'm going to say we're a little bit lucky on that one. We're a little bit lucky on that one. I mean, there's no intent, of course. He doesn't even see him. He doesn't even see the guy. He's just swinging to clear it. And Barry, gets there first. I think Barry's theatrical fall is why it wasn't given in real time. Like it wasn't given by Sam Barrett. In the first place, so they had to go look at it in VAR retrospectively. But I think if he gives it, it's definitely not overturned. If he gives that as a pin, it's definitely not overturned. So I think we maybe dodged one there. I think Saliba's lucky to not concede a pin there. To be honest with you. Yep, again in the 64th, absolutely fantastic move. Trossard bangs it off the bar. You expect him to score from there, really, like just a nice little curve. We worked this space incredibly well. We were very quick in the transition, and we got the overload and found the pass for the man on the back post, and he smashed it off the bar. Like I say, you definitely think Trossard's gonna tuck that one away for 2-0, and we cruise to the end of the game. But that was not what happened. Although we were definitely moving the ball a lot quicker. I've noted that like 3 times now in my notes. Victor comes off for Jesus in the 65th. I thought overall Victor's had a much, much improved performance. He struggled a little bit with Tarkowski and Michael Keane, but I think that he had a lot more opportunities because we were playing quicker. We were definitely looking to find him. He was getting into the channels. There was space for him to run into, and I thought that he played well. Definitely still room for improvement, as always, but I think he's on the right track. Love to see him get the goal in the goal drought and won the game for us. So all in all, your number 9, your strikers come in he's scored the goal. He's got the points to win the game. Yes, he can improve, but you can't ask much more from him. Yeah, the initial press we've beaten really well with Zuby making the triangles. Yes, I noticed that. Jack was pretty good. Leandro Trossard, I call him Jack. He was definitely pretty good today. He should have scored. I think that for what we needed in this game, he definitely moved the ball quickly. He definitely was looking for Gyokeres in the space. So I think that it was definitely a good performance from him. I will say, while this wasn't the most nervy ending, it wasn't Sunderland, and it certainly wasn't Wolves. I'm not happy with the nervy endings, with the we're not winning by 3-0 endings. Very good to see that we didn't just give up a ton of space like we did versus Wolves. Love to see at the end that we were still passing it around. We were still keeping the ball and keeping possession, and had more aggression. Did not concede space and just say, you know what, we'll just hang on to this. Which is like baffling to me that we did that at Wolves, because it's not in our DNA. That's not our identity at all. Arteta's identity is keep the ball, control, possession. And so we did that in the end of the game instead of, having a more proactive approach to protecting our lead than letting them just come at us. And I was very, very happy to see that. You notice again that Martin Zubamendi, when he comes off, is very unhappy. He was just as unhappy when he came off against Wolves, and he didn't have his best game, and that's why he was unhappy. I think he did get a little bit bogged down with the battle in the midfield. The physicality of Everton definitely gave him some trouble. A couple of misplaced passes, a couple of hurried attempts that I think definitely wasn't at his sterling best, but he wasn't horrible. Maybe 6.5 is maybe what I'd rate him. But like I said, Declan Rice was there to cover for him. I thought Declan had a very good game once again. We need to keep an eye on him. We definitely need to keep an eye on him, because you can see at the end of every game, he's absolutely dead tired. He's absolutely gassed. We did bring in Christian Norgard. He was the captain of Brentford. It's not like we're going to lose that much. Yes, Declan Rice is absolutely amazing. He's absolutely incredible. But it's not like the quality plummets into hell when Norgard comes on, So we could give Rice some breathers. We had control of this game. Everton, we defended incredibly well. We weren't up against it at any point in this game. William Saliba had a magnificent performance. We've missed that solidity in the back line. So, I don't know. I think that we could have, yes, I liked seeing Marino. Marino's definitely, a good presence in there, a calming presence in there. But so too would be Norgard. I think we can feel safe bringing him in, even in this situation. Maybe instead of Odegaard, maybe Odegaard is still trying to come back to fitness, and so he doesn't necessarily have the full 90 in him, especially after the full 90 at Wolves. So, actually, you know what? He didn't play the full 90 at Wolves, so maybe they are just managing his minutes. I thought it might, maybe we could have gone Norgard instead in there. It was interesting that we didn't see Eze at all in this game, but by the time it got to about the 78th minute, 75th minute, and Arteta was making subs, I kind of understood it. I understood that the way how physical this game would be, he wouldn't really be able to impact us. But then again, he could have held on to the ball in the end, which is what we were able to do. I thought Jesus came on and was working hard, winning aerial duels, battling with the forwards in the end, and keeping possession at the end of the game, which is what we need from our forwards. I definitely think that we got it over the line in the end. We definitely 100% need to be more clinical, but as I said, a couple of inches difference in this game's 3-0. So it was definitely an improved performance. We defended really, really well. That's back to some of our best defensive performances. We only allowed one shot on goal. 5 attempts in general with 66% possession. Raya only had to make one save. So defensively, I thought it was a fantastic performance. Like I say, I think we lacked a little bit of ruthlessness that I want to see. You know, the way Man City absolutely smashed West Ham today, 3-0. You know, you kind of want to see more of that, but there was the urgency, there was the quickness, there was the awareness of the moment, like I asked for in the pod this morning. You know, it wasn't our on fire, scintillating, amazing best, but hey, we're back top of the table. We, you know, had a good defensive performance. I thought Timber was good. Hincapié was good. I thought that Calafiori was good. And Saliba, absolute stalwart performance. You know, man of the match. Let's see. I don't know. Bukayo Saka was pretty good. It was definitely pretty good, but I think I'm going to give it to Declan Rice. You know, Saka once again was taking on his man, had, you know, had some good moments, definitely was helping in the press and as well in the transitions. So I think he had a good game as well. But all in all, yeah, very happy with the 3 points. Very happy with the much improved performance from the last game. So yeah, we'll keep it ticking. Next up, Crystal Palace in the Mickey Mouse Cup. I will be making a video for this one because I 100% want to win this game. Palace got smoked today, 4-1. Put in had to put in a really hard shift and got absolutely decimated by Leeds 4-1 and Dominic Calvert-Lewin. So I'm hoping that we can defeat them. Hey, Fire Them Cannons, how you doing? Hey, how you doing? Good to see you here, of course. Yeah, but moving on to Crystal Palace, I think it's definitely a good result and back to winning ways. I think that, you know, I really want to win the Carabao Cup. I really want to win this. So I don't know if he's going to go a weekend side maybe against Palace. They're going to bring their best team, but they're going to be tired. So I think we have a very, very good chance of winning that game, especially if we continue to improve on the performance that we have done today. I think from Arteta, it was, you know, interesting. There were some interesting things from Arteta, but again, we've identified that he loves his control. He loves, you know, the possession. I thought we were doing much better to pass them to death as Arteta wants us to do. And so, yeah, more of the same. And I hope we can keep our new winning run going. We're going to keep, you know, get back to winning ways. Like I said, playing really well defensively. So, yeah, just hope to see more of this moving forward. And, yeah, Crystal Palace up next. So, of course, if you're still here, thanks for being here. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. Hit the like button every time and hype it up. I want to know what you're thinking in the comments section down below. We will be back here on the Cup Chasers very, very, very soon. And you will see us next time.